Welcome to The Edge. I am your host, Ella Sticha. Today we will be discussing a semester course offered at PTHS for those who already took Media 1. Media On-Air Broadcasting is an elective class choice listed in the media department. It focuses on the study of verbal communication and speech. It provides students with the opportunity to practice, revise, and self-evaluate their speaking in front of a camera as well as other classmates. Today I am joined with Morgan Byers and Cole Szymanski, students who already took the course, to discuss what this class offers and their personal experiences throughout the course. Thank you for being here. To start off, why did you guys decide to take this class?
Well, I decided to take this class because I was really bad at public speaking and my mom made me. So I figured there was no better way to force myself into speaking than taking a class that forced you to go in front of a camera.
I took this class because my sophomore year I took broadcasting, and I always saw the morning announcements and I liked it, and I liked the anchors that interest me, or for some weird reason I guess it just interests me. And so I asked around a little bit, asked my guidance counselor, asked Mrs. Frick, the media teacher, Mr. Bastos, the Media 1 teacher, and they both all just kind of told me, well, there's a class you have to take called On-Air Talent, which is you'll anchor the announcements, you'll do these shows, and you'll give speeches, and that just interests me. So my junior year, I signed up for the class.
Yeah, so you did broadcasting. Did you guys do any other media classes?
Yeah, so for my freshman year, going way back here, my freshman year, I took Media 1, which you have to take in order to get into the other classes. And then I took broadcasting my sophomore and junior year. And then my junior year and senior year, I took TV production, which runs the morning announcements except for the anchors. So it's behind the scenes of everything you don't see. And so that obviously helped a lot.
For me, I took broadcasting my sophomore year, and then I'm only in my junior year now. And I also took TV Pro for the second semester of my junior year, so all the behind the scenes stuff for the morning announcements.
So what kind of got you into the media classes? What made you interested in them?
Well, I just really liked the idea of, I just like the computers and just doing that type of stuff, so this is a good way of doing that. I guess it kind of forces you to learn new things, and I was excited to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same. I have an older sister, and she came through the media department years back, and whenever I was really little, for some reason, I just kind of was attracted to that, and so I came up through high school knowing what I wanted to do, kind of just take media classes and kind of follow what she was doing, but then I created my own path on the way and kind of strung off and went a different way than she did. So it just kind of interested me from whenever I was really little.
So what makes this class different from broadcasting and TV Pro and the other media classes?
I don't want to say hands-on, because the other classes are hands-on too, but it's very individual. If you if you kind of get what I'm saying, the teacher, Mr. Bastos, he teaches class. He's a great teacher, great guy, but it's you're on your own. You find the guest for the show, you write the questions, you schedule the show, and with the help of all the crew back there, you run the show. And so it's your own thing. It's not really collaborative unless you do a group show like we've done in the past, but that's a different story. So yeah, it's very individualized. As for the other classes, you have to be a team to get it to work, and in order for a show to work, you need the team, but you also need to be individual.
Same thing, broadcasting, everyone just kind of has to work together, and that's whenever you're learning things, you take so much from broadcasting and bring it into TV Pro just because you're using all the same stuff. And I never took photography, but I'm sure that stuff carries over too.
So since you knew kind of all the stuff you used, what kind of past media knowledge did you use in this class?
I think the basic editing and design with Mrs. Sittler, that definitely helped just kind of give me an overview of Photoshop, because I don't know that much, but I know enough to kind of help me out. And for Premiere Pro, learning how to cut videos up, making intro videos for the morning announcements, and like if you have B-roll and stuff for interviews, like that helps you out.
Yeah, you definitely need to have some sort of media experience, because if you just come into this class dry, chances are it's not going to work out unless you already like have an interest in it, because like even if you just took Media 1, you already have basic knowledge on video editing and a little bit of graphics and all that.
It's not going to be as fun.
Yeah, it's so, and then especially TV production helps tremendously, because you see, like, whenever you're in the control room, you see everything. Like, it's not, I don't know, it's two different perspectives, but you just get a knowledge of how a show, like how the morning announcements and how a show works, that it carries over heavily, because you already know what you're doing and how it goes whenever you get your first show or you're anchoring the morning announcements. So obviously the prior knowledge does help a lot. Yeah. And so I personally, like, I think you should have it. But
yeah. So how did you like the curriculum of the class and like what you learned?
So for On-Air Talent, I think the curriculum, like the first quarter of the semester definitely was less, it had less requirements, I guess, than the second quarter. But I think it really helped me with time management, because you realize you have to get this show done probably within the 4th week of the 9 weeks and the 9th week of the 9 weeks, and you need to come up with your questions, make sure you have a guest, and you can't just delay it, because you figuring this out in the last 2 days of the quarter, it's not happening, and it's such a big chunk of your grade that you realize you have to put it first. But also we do like little speeches now and then, and it just really helps build up your confidence for shows like this. So
yeah,
I mean, pretty much the same.
Yeah, so why did like this course increase your like interest, you think, of media?
Well, I'm gonna answer this pretty generally first. If it'll either make or take your opinion on the media, because if you have an interest in this, it's a great class. You learn a bunch of stuff. You learn about what it takes to make a show, create a show, run a show. But if you don't really like the class, it's going to ruin your entire opinion of it, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
As all three of us know, it's a lot of work. And so if you're not willing to do that work, you're going to have a bad experience, you're going to have bad shows, and when it comes down to it, it's your fault. It's no one else's fault but yours. And if you have a great show, it's
all on you.
It's on you, and it's on everyone else too. So I mean, it's very, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of like methods were used to teach you like this stuff? Like, what'd you do to learn it?
So Mr. Bastos does a great job of explaining how we're going to do things in his class. We will watch other schools' morning announcements to demonstrate to us maybe what we do want to do and what we don't want to do for the morning announcements, how we want to present ourselves. And we do a lot of practice, like run-throughs. He's very good about letting us practice things and recording ourselves when we practice, so that way we can go back and watch ourselves, because that's how you're going to learn, is watching yourself do something. Maybe you don't like how you present yourself one way, you need to fix that, but you're not going to know unless you're watching yourself. So he definitely does a good job of explaining to us what we're doing, letting us practice it, and then before we perform it for real. And
he's also he focuses on each student, and I think that's really important in this, because you have, the class now is 9, 10 kids. And so it's not a big class, but still, you're focusing on 9 individuals all at once. That's a lot to take in, but you need to, because not everyone's the same. You speak differently from me, and I speak differently from her, and we all speak differently from each other. We all have our different styles. And Mr. Bastos, he sees that, and he knows that, and he caters to that. So it's very, like I said earlier, it's very individualized. You are, you're on your own basically, and then you kind of have to focus on yourself.
It's so beneficial to you, because he helps you so much, and you can take away from that. Like, if you take away what he's telling you, like, you'll become so much better at speaking. It's amazing.
So like, when he takes time to talk to everyone, how did he help you like stay motivated to do your best?
He never is like terrible. Like, you're terrible, you suck.
Yeah.
Like, there's always like he might be like, okay, that might not have been your best, but let's improve upon it. He's like, you can always get better. Like, he's never saying, okay, this was just no. He's always giving you encouraging words and showing you how you can improve. He demonstrates to you, like, maybe instead of saying this way, maybe you should say it this way. Like, he really does always put a positive spin on things.
And he's brutally honest.
That's true.
So, I mean, I don't know what he's done for your class, but for my class, if something was bad, if I did something bad, he would tell me that was bad, which was the best for me, because then I knew that was bad, I need to change it, I need to make it better. And so that was most beneficial for me, because like constructive criticism, instead of someone saying, oh, that was good, you did okay, and not telling you what you did wrong, he would tell you what you did wrong, and then you would have to fix it. And he would help you along the way. He certainly helped me a lot along the way, and that was for the best. And so I think, honestly, that's his brutal honesty is what's best.
Basically, like what I meant, like he's not gonna ever say like you can't do this, like no. But he is like brutally honest. If what you did was not correct or not good, like he will let you know, but he wants you to improve upon it. Like he will help you fix that.
So with him like helping you along the way, how supported would you say you felt during the class?
I always felt supported.
Yeah.
Always. Even if it was something that I thought, like, because some of the topics that like we do for the Edge and for the shows are kind of controversial. They can go like either way. And if someone's like straying off from that, or like doesn't really have like a strong opinion, or is kind of weak on it, or doesn't know what they're gonna do, he's there. He's saying, well, you don't have to do this, but you can. And like he tells you why it would be good and why it'd be good for you. And so I think, honestly, like that's probably the best. Yeah.
So how do you think the class kind of developed your communication skills?
Well, like I said, I was scared to talk in front of people. Like I could have a conversation with anyone, but if I had to stand up and speak in front of a class, like it was not going to go well. But now I feel I know how to present my thoughts and present a message in a way that people would understand, they would take away something from it, and it wouldn't be complete chaos.
And it teaches you how to speak with people instead of at people, because there's classes everywhere. Like don't get me wrong, I love the speech class here. I took it my sophomore year. I love it. I love the teacher. It's a great class. But it teaches you to speak at people. And this class teaches you to speak with people and have a conversation with them instead of just spitting facts at them or spitting random information at them. So this, it teaches you, especially with adults. Whenever you bring an adult, a lot of people struggle now, especially teenagers and young kids, communicating with adults. But now that's sort of whenever you're kind of forced into the situation and you're forced to talk to them, you're forced to ask them questions about themselves, you learn the basics, and that's good for whenever we graduate and you have to get a job. So it greatly improves your communication skills.
We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Morgan and Cole's time in the class. Welcome back to The Edge, where we're talking about a media class that Cole and Morgan are taking. So how was this course different from what you initially expected signing up for it?
So whenever I signed up for this class, I knew that you had to take this class to be on the morning announcements, so I figured I was taking this class and I was just going to be on the morning announcements. But I mean, you do the morning announcements, but it's not just that. Like you do a interview like this, and you do probably like 10 speeches throughout, like maybe not completely long speeches, but like you're doing speeches throughout.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same. I just thought I would sign up for the class, anchor the morning announcements, and then a couple weeks in, whenever he was like, you guys have to start talking about your shows. I just kind of looked at him and was like,
what show?
What? Like, well, what's all this about? But but no, I'm glad it turned out the way it did. It's an incredible class. I love it.
So like how would you compare your expectations of the class and what like really happened?
I feel like, I don't know if I had expectations. I was kind of just hoping, like, okay, I won't freeze up whenever I'm talking to people. I mean, it's still going to happen, but I feel like I know how to get myself out of it maybe a little bit better now. And, I mean, it helped me out. I don't know if I had expectations for, like, what we were going to be doing in the class besides morning announcements, but.
Yeah, honestly, my expectations for it were just kind of, basically the same as what I just said. I'd come in, sit down, read the morning announcements, but I ended up liking this class so much that it's what I'm doing when I'm studying in college, broadcast journalism. So, like, my expectations were, I hate to say this, but pretty low.
Yeah.
I kind of thought like it, not like a blow off.
Kind of like a study hall, you morning announcements, do your homework.
Yeah, sort of like that, but I'm super glad it's not, because it's one of the best classes I've ever taken.
So what was your favorite part, do you think, of the whole semester?
I don't know.
That's rough.
That's hard because like each thing that we did had like its own reasoning.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed the declamation speech. So basically what we did was we chose a speech that someone has already written and said, and we redid it. But we took their speech and we just re-spoke it to the class. And I really liked that because it was kind of challenging because you didn't want to act like the person. You still wanted to act like yourself, but you still needed to be in the moment. And that was hard for me, but it was fun because it was a nice challenge.
Yeah, we never did those.
Oh,
I would
sorry.
like to give that a shot. That'd be fun. But probably the shows. I loved the shows.
Yeah.
I liked like kind of taking control and having something that's mine. And so I don't know. I liked doing everything for it. I liked writing the questions. I liked finding the guests. I liked scheduling the time, and especially whenever it was showtime. I loved anchoring. It was a great time.
I'm the opposite. I did not like the show. I was fine with doing the questions, but I would get nervous for the show just because most of the time you do have like an adult here and that's your guest, and it would just make me really nervous because I'm like, what if I mess up? Like this is going to be really embarrassing. People are going to see this. But I was definitely the opposite of you from like show wise, but I liked preparing, just not the whole.
Oh, and don't get me wrong, I got super nervous too.
But whenever it was done, like I felt good about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It feels like a weight was taken off your shoulders.
Really does.
It's one of the best feelings in the world because everything you've been working for these past couple weeks.
It's on video, and that's what's so great about this class is that you can go back and watch it. And like for going to college, you can always send this to the college. Like, look, this is what I did, and that's a good way to build up your resume and to show them like what you're doing.
And I think the best reason for that is so you can see yourself improve.
Yeah.
Because I took this class, I took On-Air Talent my second semester my junior year. And then I took it first semester my senior year. From my first show to my last show, huge improvement. And I'm not trying to brag here. I'm really not. But
Are you?
maybe a little. but it's crazy to see yourself grow and see how more comfortable you get speaking with people, and it really is an incredible thing.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about having to like self-critique when you were like going back and watching like your shows or watching your speaking stuff?
I mean, I enjoyed it, kind of. Like everyone, whenever you're watching yourself, I feel like it's just a thing where you're kind of like, I don't really want to watch myself. But you do learn so much from yourself whenever you're critiquing, because I'm just talking to you right now, but whenever I go back and watch, I'll see like myself doing something that I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this in another show. And it's such a good way to help improve yourself that I like it.
Even stuff you're not thinking of, because I know what's going through your head right now. You're trying to figure out the next question. You're trying to figure out if we ask you a question. So everything's going through your head, and you kind of black out.
Yeah.
To be honest, you don't really know what's going on. You're in the moment. But whenever you go back and watch yourself, you kind of see what you were thinking. And honestly, I think that's the best way to improve, is because sometimes you may jump around, you may not stay on the same topic, you may word something weird and you didn't even notice, but then once you go back and watch yourself, you see all that stuff happen, and then you're like, all right, next time I can't do this. I liked what I did here. I'm gonna make that better, and I'm gonna change this. So I think watching yourself is probably one of the best ways to improve.
Yeah, I agree.
So how did you guys prepare for speaking on the morning announcements?
you want to go?
I just kind of did it, honestly. Like, I don't know, I was in here first period anyways because of TV production, so I would just come in here, sit down, we'd run through once, and then I'd read the script, go over any names I had difficulty pronouncing, and that's about it. I really didn't probably prepare myself as much as I should have, but I guess that was just me.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool because at the beginning of the semester, Mr. Bastos brought all of us in at least, and we did a run through of a script on the morning announcement set with the teleprompter, and it's different reading off the teleprompter. But I think if we took that video that he took of us reading from then and we compared it to the video of us in our last morning announcements, like I think we'd have all tremendous like increases just because we've learned so much and we've grown.
Yeah. So I know you talking about you took the class because you didn't like speaking. So how now do you feel about like speaking in front of a class?
I definitely feel more comfortable because I know, like Mr. Bastos taught me I'm a scatterbrain type of person. Like I don't know how to keep my thoughts in order.
Yeah.
But he taught me like, Morgan, you need to have 3 ideas. You need to talk about each one for this long. Like it helped bring what I was thinking, and I had all these thoughts in my head, but it brought them down to a nice order that people would actually be able to take something away from.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's just everything's just kind of rushing, and then he was able to kind of.
It was really helpful that
he was able to channel it.
Yeah.
And kind of squeeze out the stuff that maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe they don't
emphasize
need to know
this more.
that.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of that definitely helped a lot. So I think I'm more organized speaker now than I was before.
So like you're talking about like organization, what other like skills do you think you've kind of gotten after taking the class?
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna say what you need, and that's confidence.
Yeah.
I agree.
You need to be confident in front of a camera. If not, like, and I'm not saying cocky, because you can't be cocky, because then you come off as arrogant, and so you can't be cocky, but you have to be confident. You have to be able to look at yourself on the camera or whenever you're rewatching it and say, I did this well. I did not do this well, and you have to be able to kind of take, So I think you have to be confident, and I think if you do take this class, it builds up your confidence.
Yeah.
Because then you learn how to speak in front of people, and one of people's biggest fears are speaking in front of cameras.
Yeah.
And so you build up confidence speaking in front of cameras, and then half the time you don't even notice that they're there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned like you're like majoring in broadcasting or something. Yeah. So how helpful do you think this class was to like your guys' like future careers or?
Extraordinarily helpful. This class basically made me find, this class and TV production and broadcasting for that, made me find what I want to do. And like I don't even know, like I can't thank anyone enough for that, because it's incredible. No one knows what they want to do whenever they enter high school. It's you want to become a salesman, you want to do this, you want to still, if you could, you still want to go to the moon.
Yeah.
But you start to kind of realize what you are interested in, and if I wouldn't have taken On-Air Talent, I probably wouldn't have found that.
So like I'm obviously not a senior, and I have no clue what I want to do whenever I go to college. Like my guess is I'll go in undecided because I have no clue what I want to do. But this class has helped me so much just for, I feel like even if I don't take anything or do anything in my future with media, just with my speaking abilities to other people, like confidence once again, just being able to, at a job interview, like I now know maybe I need to ask questions to them, even though they're the ones asking me questions, and how to bounce the ball back and forth. Like that's very important, and I feel like I got that from this class.
Yeah.
So what do you think you'll remember most about the class?
That's a good question.
That's a really good
question.
That's kind of like unforgettable, I feel like, just because you do learn so much, and you take away, like, this is a class that is so, you need it in your everyday life, I feel like, and it benefits you so much that I feel like you're not going to forget it because it just helps you out.
Yeah, it's very...
I don't have a specific moment.
I don't think I do either, because the whole time you're having fun.
Yeah.
Even whenever you're writing your questions and or whenever you're writing your questions, or you just got turned down by a guest, you're still having fun. You're still doing what you like. The whole class is a bunch of friends, basically, even if you're strangers whenever you first come in, which 95% of the time it is. Taking it twice, I knew maybe 2 people in there the first couple times, and we all became friends. So and since it's so small, it's kind of like it's very homey. So honestly, that's probably the best part is
like
how
we all practice with each other whenever we're doing something. So I agree.
Okay, so thank you for watching this week's episode of The Edge. If you're interested in this class or want to know more about it, talk to Mr. Bastos or look at the course catalog on PowerSchool. Thank you guys for being here, and
thank you.
see you next time on The Edge.